be me, Aaron. 5 feet 8 inches, manlet posting about the most insane experience I had with female height requirements. This happened over like 8 months and honestly changed my entire perspective on dating. Gonna green text this properly so you Anons understand the full autism. So I'm at my friend Jake's place for some casual hangout. Bunch of people from college, nothing fancy. Sitting on the couch scrolling through my phone when I hear this voice. Clear, confident, with that particular tone girls use when they're laying down the law. I don't date guys under 6 feet. It's not even an option. Look up and see this girl Lena talking to some other chicks. She's maybe 5 feet 5 inches herself. Decent looking. That kind of confidence that comes from having options. Her friend Mila is nodding along, but I catch her rolling her eyes slightly. Lena notices me looking and gives me this scanning look. You know the one Anons, that elevator glance that measures you up in 0.5 seconds. She lingers on my height, does some quick mental math. I can literally see the nope forming behind her eyes. Instead of getting butthurt or trying to prove anything, I just smile and walk to the kitchen. Grab a beer and find Jake in the back room playing video games. Spend the rest of the evening there. Hear Lena's laugh coming from the living room. She's talking to this tall dude, Marcus, who plays basketball. Good for her, I think. Everyone has their preferences. Drive home that night thinking about it, though. Not in a bitter way, just curious. Never really encountered someone who was so upfront about height requirements. Most girls just ghost you or make excuses. There was something almost refreshing about the honesty. At least I knew where I stood, or in this case, where I didn't stand tall enough. Turns out Lena runs in the same social circle. Over the next few weeks, we keep ending up at the same gatherings, parties, study groups, casual hangouts at the local coffee shop near campus. Every time it's the same pattern. She gravitates toward the tallest guys in the room. Animated conversations, lots of touching their arms, that high-pitched laugh. With everyone else, including me, it's polite, but distant. Not rude exactly, just economical with her attention. I make zero effort to change this dynamic. When she's in a group conversation, I contribute normally. When she asks me something directly, I answer. But I never try to impress her or win her over. No jokes aimed specifically at her, no attempts to get her number, no accidental bumps, or finding excuses to talk. This seems to confuse her slightly. A couple times I catch her looking at me with this puzzled expression, like she's trying to figure out why I'm not trying. Mila starts to notice this too. She's sharp, that one, sees everything, makes these little comments that sound casual but aren't. Oh, look, Aaron's not falling all over himself trying to get Lena's attention. How unusual, a guy who actually respects boundaries. Lena always changes the subject when Mila says stuff like this, but I can tell it registers. Meanwhile, I'm just living my life, focusing on classes, hanging out with my actual friends, dating other people occasionally, nothing serious, not making a big deal about being single. Definitely not making a big deal about Lena's height rule. There's this one party where she's talking to some new tall guy. He's going on about his workout routine and his protein shakes. I'm nearby talking to Jake about this documentary we watched. She keeps glancing over at our conversation. We're discussing the filmmaker's technique and why certain shots worked. Nothing groundbreaking, but it's an actual conversation with substance. Protein shake guy is still talking about his bench press numbers. Lena looks back and forth between us a few times. Then Marcus shows up, and she immediately refocuses on him. Crisis averted, I guess. This is where things get weird, Anons. Like the universe decided to run some kind of social experiment. First incident happens at Sarah's birthday party. Big house, lots of people, typical college party setup. Lena shows up with this dude, Trevor. He's probably 6 feet 1 inch, fits her criteria perfectly. They're all over each other the whole night. Making out by the beer pong table, whole 9 yards. Around 1 a.m., people start leaving. I'm getting ready to head out when I see Lena looking around frantically. Turns out Prince Charming Trevor had an emergency. His words, not mine. Basically, some other girl he was apparently also seeing showed up. So he bailed without a word, left Lena stranded. No car, no ride, and it's a 45-minute walk back to campus. She's standing there in heels, clearly upset but trying to play it cool, asking around if anyone's going her direction. Most people are either too drunk to drive or heading the opposite way. I walk up and say, "I can drop you off if you want." Simple offer, no ulterior motives. She looks at me for a long moment. You can see the internal struggle, pride versus practicality. "I'll figure something else out," she says. "It's not a big deal," I reply and head to my car. Watch through my rearview mirror as she starts walking, in heels, at 1:30 a.m., down a poorly lit street. Part of me wants to circle back, but I respect her choice. Find out later from Mila that she made it back safely, but it took her over an hour. Feet were destroyed, had to throw out the shoes. Second incident happens about 3 weeks later. We're at this coffee shop that everyone goes to between classes. Lena's there with Mila, both studying for some psychology exam. I'm at a corner table working on my laptop. She orders food, goes to pay, and her card gets declined. Tries another card, same thing. Checks her phone, and I can see her face change. She's clearly embarrassed, people in line behind her getting impatient. Walks up to my table, looking uncomfortable. "Aaron, this is really awkward, but could you—" "Yeah, no problem," I say before she finishes. Go up and pay for her sandwich and coffee. Total comes to like $12, not exactly breaking the bank. She starts to say something about paying me back. "Don't worry about it," I tell her, and go back to my table. She sits down with Mila, who gives her this look. Can't hear what they're saying, but Mila keeps glancing over at me. I finish my work and leave without making a big deal about it. No "you owe me" comments. No expecting gratitude. Just paid and moved on. Third incident is the most ridiculous. Spring formal is coming up, and there's this pre-party at someone's apartment. Lena shows up in this killer dress and heels that probably cost more than my textbooks. She's with yet another tall guy, some dude from the business school, around 6 feet 2 inches, perfectly styled hair, expensive watch. Everything's going great until they're walking down to his car. One of her heels catches in a sidewalk grate and snaps clean off. Business school guy is useless, just stands there looking annoyed. "This is going to make us late," he says. Romantic, right? I happen to be walking to my own car when this happens. See her standing there holding the broken shoe. Walk over and pull out electrical tape from my toolbox. This should hold it together for the night. Wrap the heel so it's stable enough to walk on. Takes maybe 2 minutes. Business school guy is tapping his foot the whole time like I'm inconveniencing him. Finish the repair job and head to my car. "Aaron, wait," Lena calls out. I turn around. "Thank you." Nod and drive away. Later, Mila tells me that business school guy spent the entire formal complaining about how the delay messed up his timeline. Apparently, he had this whole schedule mapped out, and my 2-minute repair job threw off his grand plan. Real winner, that one. Point is, none of these situations were planned. I wasn't lurking around waiting for opportunities to play hero. Just happened to be there when practical problems needed practical solutions. Each time I helped because it was the right thing to do. Each time I left immediately after because I wasn't looking for credit or leverage. Patterns start becoming obvious, even to Lena. Her string of tall boyfriends continues, but the outcomes are remarkably consistent. Trevor, who abandoned her at the party, starts dating her roommate. Business school guy turns out to be seeing 3 other girls simultaneously. There's basketball Marcus, who promises to take her to some fancy restaurant, then cancels last minute because his ex wants to talk. Spoiler alert, anons, they got back together that same night. Meanwhile, I'm just existing in the same social space, not competing for her attention, but not avoiding her either. We have normal conversations when we end up in groups together. I treat her exactly the same as everyone else. No special courtesy, no cold shoulder, just baseline human decency. Mila starts making more pointed observations. She's got this way of dropping truth bombs disguised as casual comments. One day we're all studying in the library together. Lena's texting with some new guy she met at the gym. He's apparently 183 centimeters and does CrossFit. Real original choice there. Mila looks up from her books and says, "You know what's funny? Aaron's helped you out more times in the past few months than all your tall boyfriends combined." Lena doesn't look up from her phone. That's different. How is it different? It just is. But you can tell the comment sticks with her. She gets this thoughtful look and puts her phone away. We all go back to studying, but the energy in the group has shifted slightly, like someone pointed out the elephant in the room that everyone was trying to ignore. Another time, we're at Jake's place again. Same setup as where I first heard her height rule. Lena's telling everyone about her latest dating disaster. Some tall guy from her economics class took her out, split the bill, then tried to get her to pay for parking. Classy move, right? Everyone's making sympathetic noises and talking about what a jerk he was. I'm half listening while playing pool with Jake. Mila says something that makes everyone stop talking. "Maybe you should try dating someone under 6 feet. Dead silence. Lena gets this defensive look. I know what I'm attracted to. Do you, though? Mila pushes back. Because your track record suggests otherwise. Lena stands up and walks to the kitchen. Awkward energy spreads through the room. I sink the 8-ball and rack up for another game. Later that night, Lena approaches me while I'm getting another beer. Mila thinks I should give shorter guys a chance. She says it like she's asking for my opinion on quantum physics. Makes sense, I reply. Why? You're clearly not finding what you want with tall guys. She looks surprised by my directness, but I'm just not attracted to shorter men. Then don't date them. But what if I'm missing out on something good? That's your call to make. I can see she wants me to argue with her, convince her that height doesn't matter, tell her she should give me or guys like me a chance. Instead, I grab my beer and go back to the pool table. She stands there for a moment, looking confused, then goes back to her friends. This becomes a recurring theme. Lena brings up the height thing in group conversations more often, always indirectly, never addressing me specifically, but clearly fishing for reactions. I wonder if I'm being too picky. Maybe personality matters more than I thought. Physical attraction is important, but so is compatibility. Everyone gives her the responses she's looking for. Yeah, personality matters. Height is just a number. Don't be so shallow. I never contribute to these discussions. Just let her work through whatever internal debate she's having, without my input or validation. The breakthrough moment comes at Mila's birthday dinner. We're at this mid-range restaurant, about 8 people around the table. Lena starts telling this story about her latest date. Guy was perfect on paper, 6 feet 0 inches, good looking, decent job, but spent the entire evening talking about himself. Didn't ask her a single question about her life or interests. Classic narcissist behavior disguised as confidence. The whole time I kept thinking about how Jake asks better questions, she says, or how Aaron actually listens when you're talking to him. She catches herself saying my name and looks embarrassed. Mila gives her this knowing smile. Interesting observation. I was just making a comparison. To a guy under 6 feet? Shut up, Mila. But the seed is planted. You can see her starting to question her own rules. Not in a dramatic way, just little moments of doubt. She starts paying more attention when I'm talking to other people. Notices that I actually engage with what they're saying, ask follow-up questions, remember details from previous conversations, basic social skills that her tall boyfriends apparently lack. There's this one evening where we end up waiting for the same bus, just the two of us, no group buffer. She makes small talk about classes and weekend plans, normal conversation, but she seems nervous, like she's testing whether we can interact one-on-one without weirdness. Bus arrives and we sit in different sections, but it's progress of sorts, I guess. Everything comes to a head at the end of semester party. Huge event. Practically the entire college shows up. Lena arrives with her ex-boyfriend, the same guy who left her stranded at Sarah's party months earlier. Apparently, they'd been talking again and decided to give it another shot. Because nothing says relationship material like a guy who abandoned you at 1 a.m. He's exactly what you'd expect from her dating history. Tall, good-looking in that generic way. Expensive clothes, talks loudly so everyone can hear his stories. Treats waitstaff like garbage, but charms everyone else. Textbook narcissist with good cheekbones. I'm there with my own date, actually. Met this girl, Rebecca, in my film studies class. She's smart, funny, doesn't care that I'm not 6 feet tall. We're having a good time talking to people and dancing, not thinking about Lena at all, honestly. Around midnight, the drama starts. Lena and her ex are by the pool area, voices getting raised, her looking upset. Turns out Prince Charming has been messaging other girls all night, including some freshman who just walked in. Real subtle about it too, apparently. Making comments about how hot the new girl looks, right in front of Lena. "You're being ridiculous," he tells her when she confronts him. We're not exclusive or anything. News to her, apparently. She thought getting back together meant something. He thought it meant convenient access until something better came along. The argument escalates. He starts saying cruel things designed to hurt her. Calls her clingy, desperate, says she should be grateful he gives her any attention. "You're lucky I date you at all with your attitude." Real charmer, this one. Then he sees the freshman girl again and literally walks away mid-sentence. Leaves Lena standing there alone while he goes to introduce himself. I watch this happen from across the room. Rebecca notices too and shakes her head. What a piece of work. Lena stands there for a moment, processing what just happened. Then she looks around the room like she's suddenly lost. All her friends are scattered, busy with their own conversations. She's completely isolated in a crowd of people. She spots me and our eyes meet. There's this moment of recognition, like she's remembering all those times her tall boyfriends let her down, and all those times I was just there, reliable, no agenda. She starts walking toward me. Rebecca sees what's happening and squeezes my hand. Go talk to her. She looks devastated. You sure? I'll get us drinks and find Mila. Good woman, that Rebecca. Lena reaches me, and I can see she's been crying a little, trying to hide it, but her makeup is slightly smudged. Aaron. Her voice is shaky, vulnerable in a way I've never heard before. I think maybe I was wrong about the height thing. And there it is, Anons. The moment every manlet fantasizes about. The girl who rejected you based on height, finally admitting she was wrong. Coming to you for validation and comfort. Ready to give you a chance because her other options failed her. I look at her for a long moment. She's expecting me to be grateful, relieved, eager. Maybe give her some speech about how height doesn't matter. Tell her I've been waiting for this moment. Prove that I'm different from all the tall guys who hurt her. Instead, I say, that's your problem, not mine. Turn around and walk back to Rebecca. Lena just stands there, mouth slightly open. Didn't see that response coming? Spend the rest of the night with Rebecca, having actual fun instead of dealing with Lena's epiphany. We leave around 2 a.m., laughing about something stupid. Don't look back to see how Lena's handling the rejection. Not my problem anymore. Word travels fast in college social circles. By the next week, everyone knows about the party incident. Lena's ex moved on to the freshman girl immediately. Made a big show of it too, posting pictures and being obvious. Real classy way to handle things. Lena basically disappeared from social events for a while. Mila said she was processing and reevaluating her dating choices. Translation: hiding in her room, feeling sorry for herself, and probably expecting me to come crawling back with comfort and understanding. A couple weeks later, Mila approaches me at the coffee shop, sits down without being invited, which is very unlike her. I need to tell you something about Lena. Okay. She's been talking about you a lot. That's unfortunate. She says she regrets being so shallow about height. Good for her. She pushed away the only guy who treated her well just because he wasn't tall enough. Sounds like she figured that out a little late. Mila studies my face, like she's looking for cracks in my resolve. She's different now, Aaron. This whole experience changed her perspective. I'm sure it did. Don't you think people deserve second chances? Depends on the person and the situation. What would it take for you to consider giving her another shot? I close my laptop and look directly at her. Nothing. There's nothing she could do or say that would change my mind. Mila looks surprised, like she expected me to have conditions or requirements. Some way for Lena to earn her way back into my good graces. But you two would be good together. Maybe 6 months ago, not now. Why not? Because I'm not interested in being someone's backup plan. That's not what this is. That's exactly what this is. Stand up to leave. Mila grabs my arm gently. She really did learn from this, Aaron. She sees now that she was wrong. Great. She can apply that lesson to the next guy. Walk away without looking back. The truth is, Anons, I wasn't being cruel for the sake of it, or trying to punish her for having preferences. People are allowed to want what they want, but they're also responsible for the consequences of those choices. Lena made her decision based on my height months ago, when I was the same person I am now, just in a shorter package. She didn't reject me because we were incompatible, or because she wasn't attracted to my personality. She rejected me before getting to know anything about my personality, purely based on physical measurements. Now that her preferred dating pool has disappointed her, she wants to reconsider her standards. But I'm not interested in being reconsidered. I'm not interested in being the safe choice, after all the exciting choices failed. I'm definitely not interested in proving that short guys can be worthy, too. Couple more weeks pass, and I hear through the grapevine that Lena's been asking people about my dating life, whether I'm seeing anyone seriously, if I ever mention her in conversations. Classic information gathering behavior, probably building up to some grand gesture or conversation. Rebecca and I had already decided we were better as friends. Mutual decision, no drama. But we still hang out regularly, and people know we're close. This seems to encourage Lena somehow. Like my being single means the door is still open. Final encounter happens at Jake's place again. Full circle moment. Different party, but same house. Same crowd, mostly. I'm in the kitchen when Lena walks in. We're alone, which I suspect isn't accidental. Can we talk? She asks. We are talking. I mean really talk. About what? About us. There is no us, Lena. She takes a deep breath like she's been rehearsing this. I know I messed up. I was shallow and stupid, and I hurt you. You didn't hurt me. You just weren't interested. That's different. But I was wrong about the height thing. Okay, I see that now. Good for you. So, maybe we could start over. No. Simple word, but it hits her like a slap. She wasn't expecting such a direct rejection. Why not? Because I don't want to. But we have so much in common. We have friends in common. That's not the same thing. You know what I mean? I really don't. She gets frustrated, which is interesting. shows that under all the newfound humility, she still expects to get her way. I'm trying to apologize here. I don't need your apology. Then what do you need? Nothing from you. Walk past her toward the living room. She follows me. Aaron, please, just give me one chance to show you I've changed. Turn around to face her. Everyone at the party is pretending not to watch, but obviously listening. You haven't changed, Lena. You've just run out of better options. Room goes quiet. That's not fair. Fair would have been getting to know me before deciding I wasn't worth your time. I know that now, and I know that I don't care. Leave the party immediately after that. Drive around for a while just thinking. Not about Lena specifically, but about the whole situation. How people convince themselves they've grown when really they've just been humbled. How they expect forgiveness to be automatic once they admit they were wrong. Never saw Lena much after that. Heard she started dating some guy from another school. Average height, apparently. Good for her, I guess. Hope she learned something from the experience. Doubt it, but stranger things have happened. The real lesson here isn't about height or dating or female psychology. It's about knowing your own worth and not accepting less than you deserve. Lena didn't reject me because I was inadequate. She rejected me because she prioritized the wrong things. That's a her problem, not a me problem. Me. When someone shows you who they are the first time, believe them. When someone decides you're not good enough based on arbitrary criteria, accept it and move on. Don't wait around hoping they'll change their mind. Don't be grateful if they eventually lower their standards enough to include you. Find someone who chooses you first, not last. Find someone who sees your value immediately, not after everyone else disappoints them. Find someone who doesn't need to be convinced that you're worth their time. That's the real black pill here, Anons. Not that women only care about height or that dating is hopeless, but that self-respect is non-negotiable. And sometimes the best response to rejection is indifference. Anyway, that's my story. Take from it what you will. Just remember that you teach people how to treat you. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is, "No, thank you, I'm good." End of green text. Thanks for reading my autism.